Hello, everyone. This is Jennifer. I want to touch on a different topic today. If you hear noise in the background, those are just fireworks that are going off outside and being the 4th of July. But I wanted to touch on a different topic today. And I'm just going to be moving around to certain areas as it pertains to my own personal life and my experience. And I got, it's just, my God, I got so many. I touched in my book how I used to get punched in the stomach a lot, how I used to get punched in the face a lot by men. They just look at me. They would look at me like I was disgusting or something, or as if I didn't have any value or anything. Just as well as I got it from my family, from certain family members in certain areas and stuff as well. I would always hear a lot, I hate you, I can't stand you. And they say it so strong and intensely. As a child, we look at those things, it's like, okay, you kind of bypass it. But to constantly hear it daily, and not just verbally, because we speak more than using the words that come out of our mouths. We speak with our eyes. We speak with the manner, whatever manner or spirit that we have. And in that case, you have to be discerning. We speak with our body language. We speak with doing little gestures and things of that nature. And so I am accustomed to rejection. I am accustomed to people hating me extensively. I am accustomed to being shamed, being belittled, and so many other things. I'm not glorifying those things. I'm not, I wouldn't say I'm accepting those things, but I've had those things in my life so much to where it's like, can't find the words, like, okay. I know how it feels to be spat on in the eye. I know how that feels by a man. And then have your family who knew about it and not, and this is as a child, and knew about it and not do anything. I know how it feels to have someone to, now there are all different forms of abuse, but this abuse that I'm talking about right now is the mental abuse. I know how it feels to have that, people messing with your mind, and been gaslighting you for years and stuff. And I know how it feels to come out of a relationship with someone, a marriage, and have your family side with the individual who, now they did it as well, but have your family side with the individual who was doing it to you. And they treat you like the crap that they step on outside or that's beneath them. And I know how it feels to have someone who just look at you with extensive hate. They don't know you, but they just look at you with extensive hate and pick up something and bruise your head with it. I've been hit in the head with a bottle. I'm still referring to as when I was a child, and then had one of my siblings do nothing about it. I look back now and I wish I would have stood up for myself more. And it's so funny because out of all that I've been through, and even the things that I'm still going through, I'm more tenacious on standing up for myself than I was when I was a child. I had a lot of fears. I had a lot of fears put on me. I had other people's fears placed on me. And so it was a lot of things that I had to tear down and break through and try to understand and comprehend, like, where did this come from? And, who, and so forth. And I'm glad to say that no man helped me. It was God and Jesus, the Holy Spirit that helped me to, brought me through a lot of things that I've dealt with, even though I didn't realize it at the time. Helped me to wake up to certain things, even before knowing about what certain things were, such as narcissistic abuse. Even before knowing about those things, I was made aware of that by God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit, not man. It's like I had people, I had a vast of people around me, and majority of them saw what was going on. But the sick and twisted thing about it is, rather than help, they wanted to fulfill their sick pleasures and take part on it and take part in on it for themselves as well. So it was like everybody covering for everybody. And I know what it feels like to be punched in your mouth by a man more than once. I know what it feels like to have knives pulled out on you and you not know if the individual is going to stab you or not, especially looking within their eyes and seeing the great intense hate that they had towards you. And this is pertaining to a certain family member. I know what it feels like to have people steal from you, aware and unaware, mostly unaware. I know what it feels like to be constantly shamed and you not know why, and you have so many questions in your mind as to where, why is it that I'm always shamed, and the individuals who are doing this, they seem to get away scot-free. And the list can go on and on. And I always try to speak on the natural as well as the spiritual, because it comes, abuse and many other things comes from both sides. It don't just come from the natural world, it comes from the spirit world, whether anybody or certain ones who choose not to believe in that. But I say this to trying to make it short as possible, to say I had a situation that I experienced today, which was uncaused for, and and then having my son being with me and viewing that as well. And when we get back to the residence that we were residing at, and I have to say residence because that's all it is a residence. It's not a home or anything, but it is what it is for right now. I don't know. The only thing pretty much I had coming out my mouth was, as I was getting my son things together, to attend to his needs, I was walking around and I just started saying, God must really hate me. God must really hate me. God must really hate me. And I just kept constantly saying that. I wouldn't stop saying it. I was walking and moving around, and just those words, those were the only words that just kept coming out of my mouth. And as I was saying that, I was, uh, um, um, God must really hate me. And then it changed to like, what if God hates me? What if God hates me? Because my life, my situation, my experience and stuff that I've been through, not just in the natural, but in the spiritual. And we all, I have to say this and stress this, we all have our own personal experience in life. And you can't compare yours to no one else. We can relate, but it's still not fully the same as someone else's. Just like the gifts that God gives us, they may seem the same, but they're not the same because there's different levels of giftings and stuff, and so you can't compare. You can relate, but you can't compare, and so I just constantly kept going around saying that, because that's how I was feeling from all the things that from the situation that happened today. It's just like, I would say from the day that I was conceived, but as far as I can remember, I have to start as far as I can remember in my remembrance up until now. All those things were just starting to just compressed all together from the one situation that I had today. And all I can get out my mouth, all I could really say was, because I was angry, but I was a different form of anger. I wasn't expressing the anger, but but it was coming out in other various ways, because I started eating just stuff in my mouth with food, and I just kept saying, God must really hate me, God must really hate me. But even while I was saying that and stuff, it's like something else started to come up within me and says, no, it's because I love you. But I didn't want to, I kept pushing that to the side. I didn't want to receive that or see it like that, because that's not how I was feeling. I was feeling like, from what I've experienced and what I'm experiencing now, that God must really hate me. But I also have to remember that God's love isn't like the love of man. It's not like the love of this world. And this world is fraudulent. I said it before and I say it again. And majority of the people that's in it is fraudulent. Yeah, the majority thereof, because they hide behind God's things. They don't love God. They just use God to portray an image, to deceive, to hurt, to manipulate, cause pain, and they enjoy it and they love it. And so I just wanted to bring that up today as a question that I was thinking about today for myself personally. Maybe someone else can relate, but I was thinking about that today. Does God really hate me? And that's just a self-examination for myself. This isn't to take away the fact that I know God has not always been there, but it also don't take away the fact that questions and answers like that don't pop up in one's mind from the things that happen to us in life.